Sjuts here with Peace Coaching Worldwide. I was thinking today about the words counterdependency and codependency. I've heard some people say that they don't know what the difference is, and I thought today maybe I'd give you just a little breakdown of what the differences are between those two words. Some people also think that maybe it's some kind of a disease that they have, but in reality, it's just a word that describes the characteristics that we display. So the first word I'd like to go over is counterdependency. Now there are 5 characteristics for each of these, and the first one for the counterdependent is they are somewhat oblivious. In other words, they don't think necessarily about things that they say and how they might affect the feelings of another person. The second thing that a counterdependent displays is grandiosity. In other words, look at me, what I've accomplished, look at me, what I have. So it's a feeling of importance with things that they've done. The next thing that they display is aggressiveness. They are more aggressive in an argument, or more aggressive in saying what they think or feel. So that's the third characteristic. The fourth one is they are more self-focused. In other words, I want to do what I want to do. It's all about me. And the last one is the counterdependent is more independent. In other words, I don't need anyone else. I'll take care of myself. I'll do it myself. Now on the other side of the spectrum, we have the codependent person. That person is more polling. In other words, should we go to the movie? I don't know. What do you think? They tend to ask others what they think before they just make the decision on their own and say what they think. The codependent is more insecure. In other words, they have a lack of self-confidence. The next thing that a counterdependent is more passive. In other words, they don't stand up for themselves. They tend to take a back seat. They just let others do things. They're more in the background. The next thing is a counterdependent is more other focused. They think about others and what others need and what others want before anything that they might need or want. And the last thing is that they are more dependent. They're more needy. They need someone there to help them. They don't feel like they can take care of themselves or handle situations on their own. They need some help. So when we have codependence and counterdependence, it doesn't mean that you follow the list down the line. You may be one characteristic from one list, and the other characteristic might come from the other list. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It just is the characteristics that you display. Now, the importance of knowing this is that when we find someone that we become get to be in a relationship with, we find an opposite of what we are. So if we are more passive, we tend to find someone who's more aggressive. If we're more other-focused, we find someone who is more self-focused. And of course, this can create conflict. But if we know the list that we fall onto, we know our characteristics, we might know what we can work on and why the other person is doing what they do. So these are just some things I thought you might be interested in today. Thanks for stopping by.